right away.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the Freeman School Board to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Emily.
Yes.
David, absent. Katie, absent. Chris.
Yes.
Cody.
Great, next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. We'll require a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Yeah, we have two amendments, technically three, because two come together, or technically four, because we have number 6 and number 7 that are tied together. We were hoping that we would get solidified dates for altering the calendar to include professional development activities for second semester, but we have not solidified those dates yet, so we'll push that to November. And item 10, Angeli felt it'd be best to have Jenny switched over to be able to pay bills and access the accounts, so we had to add that one as well.
Are there any questions or discussion? If no discussion, I'll require a motion to approve the amended agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, conflict of interest disclosures. I've received none.
None.
Public input.
None.
Next item on the agenda, consent agenda. Will require a motion to approve the following: the minutes of the regularly scheduled school board meeting of September 8th, 2025, the minutes of the Cornwall Cooperative meeting of September 17th, 2025, the resignation of Amber Seiler from the position of head softball coach, and we thank her for her service, the conditions of employment of Kyle Weir for the position of head softball coach for the 2025-2026 school year, the resignation of Angeli Letcher from the position of business manager, and we thank her for her service, the conditions of employment of Angeli Letcher for the position of business manager support for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year, the contract of Jennifer Morit for the position of business manager for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year, financial reports and claims. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda, administrative reports. High school principal.
All right, so on the 24th of September, Veda Alman had her senior project for capstone. They did a blood drive. We had several students and faculty that participated in the drive. Last week was homecoming week. Great participation from the students, faculty, and the businesses. First quarter will end this Friday. 6 students, Percy, Alexis, Elmer, Lester, Gus, and Matisse, will be competing in the state soccer this Saturday in Rapid City. We are planning to have, or try to get a fan bus / van for students in grades 7 through 12. Our seniors completed the NCRC test. 14 of our students did receive a silver or above. And basically, this test is designed to help with the district's college and career readiness score on the Smarter Balance testing in the spring. Our Quiz Bowl team, which consists of Claire, Thor, Cadence, and Mackenzie and Trey as alternates, won their first round today. Congratulations to Ms. Hora and the team for a job well done, and the team will advance on to the next round on November 10th. On the 17th, Mrs. Penner and Mr. Anderson's classes will be going to Vermeer for a tour. I think it's around 65 kids that will be going, so that's awesome. Mrs. Penner will also be attending the National FFA Convention, basically for PD workshops. So, upcoming events, the 23rd at 7 p.m. is the first round of football playoffs in Freeman. The 24th, the FFA Fall Carnival from 5 to 7. Also on the 24th is the Pops concert at 7:30, and then on 11/1, All-State Chorus will be in Sioux Falls at 7 p.m.
Business manager.
We kicked off our homecoming pep rally with the South Dakota Crunch Off event. All our K through 12 students took one giant bite into a local apple at the same time as part of a statewide initiative to celebrate and bring local foods into our school. Thank you to Carrie and Lori Hofer for donating the apples. The celebration also continued at the homecoming game. SNS Ag donated local popcorn, and then they also shot off some popcorn balls during the game, which was kind of fun. We received our engagement letters for our audit, for our fiscal year 25 audit. The audit will take place December 8th. I plan on coming back that day to help the first day that they're here. All the reports have been uploaded to them, so hopefully it'll be short where they're actually on site. I'll be working part-time with Jenny the next several weeks, couple months, 2 to 3 days a week for about 2 hours through November to help with the transition and help her.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Well, welcome, Jenny.
Yeah. All right, superintendent update.
Congratulations to the school board on earning a bronze level award for your engagement over the last year. That's the award that you see on the table in front of you. An advertisement for a construction manager, which has been discussed from the Facilities and Grounds Committee. Something that's a need for prior to the bidding process. The construction manager would help to go out and try to draw the bids down. Something that's a very, very important part of the process. So looking at advertisements for that, for the reason of that if we advertise and we have the opening for those advertisements, and that that company that's selected would have an opportunity to still bid on different work that's done within the project and help to hopefully drive those numbers down even further. So that's something that will be advertised, and I'll meet with the Facilities and Grounds Committee and look at those, and then bring a recommendation for the board to approve at the November meeting. We've seen a presentation from Tracknology, I think that's how you say it, right? Tracknology, who demonstrated a field and parking lot painting machine. Pretty awesome machine. It's a Kubota side-by-side that is equipped with automatic steering and an iPad that is controlled through GPS, and then a high-pressure paint machine in the back that can be used for painting, not only for painting fields and any athletic surface, but also parking lots. I look back at our last bill when we just recently, before school year started, had our parking lot painted, and it was $3,200 for the first 2 lanes of the parking lot and the playground equipment. So it's something that usually we get 2 years, maybe if we don't have a lot of snow and a lot of snow removal, maybe 3 years out of the parking lot. So that's something that we'll want to consider if we do decide to look into something as an alternative option for field painting. A lot of that, obviously, in the future will depend on whether we go with the turf option for the fields for our stadium project that's coming up, but something that we want to be prepared for. So right now, we're just gathering information at this stage. We're hopeful that we can have another demonstration from Turf Tank. Turf Tank is one that a few other schools in South Dakota are using. It's a robot, more of like what you would see with the robot lawnmowers, kind of that size. But that also would be a machine that can do it through satellite, and Bridgewater Emory and Bridgewater Emory and Howard both have gone together and used that machine. I talked to the Bridgewater Emory superintendent. He said it is absolutely awesome and it works great, and something that just has saved an enormous amount of time and an enormous amount of paint. Because what we're looking at right now, we're crunching some numbers on just how inefficient we are by using the aerosol paints, the amount of paint it takes, and the cost of that paint. So we're using about 8 boxes of paint at about $190 per box each time we paint the field. And that's getting to be very, very inefficient. So at a minimum, I would say if we don't end up going with the turf field, we want to look at some sort of a higher quality painting machine, something that you can use 5-gallon buckets for, 5-gallon buckets of paint. You can dilute that paint down, and it's a high pressure system, so the paint gets into the grass and gets a lot better line that is being painted. So all of which would be just planning and waiting to see what'll happen when we do those bid openings, and if the board decides to go with turf or not turf. If we go not turf, then we'll be prepared to have a plan for how we can do it more efficiently for the next year. I will be attending the SASD Leadership Academy in Keystone. That starts tomorrow. I plan on leaving at somewhere around 10 o'clock. Registration is mid-afternoon for that, so I'll be out there for the Leadership Academy through early Friday afternoon, then venture back in time for the football game. And then we're, as Mitzi said, we're taking hopefully a fan van to more efficient on gas. We'll see what our numbers are for sign up. Right now there's 4 kids signed up, but probably plan on leaving at around 5 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Out there in time for the 11 o'clock Central Time soccer game, and return shortly after the game. Not shortly after, but return, head for home immediately after, and a few hours later get back. And be a long trip, be a long weekend, but definitely worthwhile and be fun for the kids to get an opportunity to go out there and support the Bobcats. So, Ann.
Unfinished business, none. New business, the school board will hear an update from the Facilities and Grounds Committee.
Anything more to add, Cody, to what I mentioned there?
I think you encapsulated the bulk of everything since last meeting.
I think maybe the one other item would be the plumbing project, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, so I'll save that for then.
The school board will hold a discussion about the plumbing system for the junior, senior high school.
Yeah, so we've had more issues this year than we've had before. We've had some cameras that have been from the Jetter Clean Company that have been put down into our pipes, and I think I shared that video with the board. You can see little bumps throughout the drainage pipes, and those are what's referenced as scales. They worry that the bottom of the pipe within the junior, senior high school, especially the main pipes, that there's been sagging that's happened. When it sags, it pools water, and that water just never goes away. It stays there permanently. And with cast iron pipes, that's not a good combination. One concern that has been expressed is that they're not sure if that pipe even has a bottom anymore. Then it may have rusted all the way through that cast iron. So that's a big piece to figuring out what we need to do to repair this issue. Obviously, the issue needs to be repaired. A staff member shared with me that it's been going on for 18 years. Christy might be able to attest to this, being able to hear of how long this has been going on, but it's been a while, and it's been long enough. And options that we would have would be to line the pipes, which would be a very, very healthy option, very cost-effective option, as long as there's a bottom to the pipe. And that's what they need to assess. They need to get in there, they need to get that water out of there so we can actually see. I'm not sure, they were still looking at options for what they could do to make that happen. There is a drop to the main, so if they can just, in one of the cleanouts, can just pressurize that to blow the water out of there, it'll drop eventually into the main. So then they can get a clear, accurate picture of what that bottom of the pipe looks like. If it still is secured, and if there, I don't know if there's any other options of patching the bottom. If it is, that's beyond me. But that'd be part of the assessment process. And if they can line it, that would be great. It's not a long-term solution, but it's probably from what I've been told, a 20 to 30 year solution, which that's a long time. There's. It'd be interesting to see what else the needs are in this building in 20 to 30 years. So the other alternative is not a great one, which would be basically cutting all the concrete out of the main hallways and the cross areas where we got 4-inch pipe going crossways, 6-inch pipe going down the hallway. So cutting into the hallway, reinforcing possibly for the walls that may be necessary, maybe not, depends on how close that drain pipe would be to the walls in the hallway. But very intrusive. You're digging up dirt that's 4 feet deep and underneath the hallway, so you're digging up a lot of dirt getting down to that pipe, and it'd be a big project. So if that may be what's needed, but it'd be nice to get a full evaluation before we get into making a decision on whether we're going to dig up hallways, if we can have a more cost-effective solution too. So that does not come free. As you can see on the second page, the cost for that assessment, they'd be coming in and they'd be doing a full imagery and tracing also. So as they send the camera through, they trace it, so they get a for sure accurate picture of where that pipe is located within the hall. Sometimes plans don't accurately reflect where things are located. Example, that would be our geothermal field. If you remember back when we did the hangar, it showed that underneath where the hangar currently is where our geothermal field was. Well, something happened back in the day where they decided to move it out by the bus lane, and there was no plans that represented that. So, you know, making sure they know exactly where the pipes are going is a big part of it too, and then getting a clear imagery of it. So the cost of that would be $9,500. So that'd be something that the discussion here today, the board to decide if we want to move forward with an assessment right now, if now's the right time. Planning would be, you know, looking at trying to coordinate this with an asbestos abatement. We've got in the budget, if you remember back in July, that Angeli had in the budget for lockers on the high school side. So putting that together, plus you had the carpet install, we'd be slightly changing that plan. So the phase was supposed to be phase 1, that hallway, phase 2, the 10 through 12 lockers hallway, and the crossing hallway. And phase 3, the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade hallway for where the lockers are at, and then phase 4, the library and the admin offices. So that phasing would have to adjust to where we would probably go hallways next. And really thinking about that, it probably is a better option because we've been trying to figure out what we're gonna do with all this classroom furniture when we get to where we're painting and we're asbestos removal, asbestos abatement and recarpeting, where if we do the hallways first, we could just pull the classrooms out into the hallway. That would already be done, paint's already done, so carpet would be done, and then we wouldn't have to haul the classroom furniture nearly as far. We just have to make sure that they leave enough space for the workers.
Yeah, I think we should look into getting it done. If it's been a problem for nearly 2 decades, I don't imagine it's gonna fix itself.
Agreed. I think it's unlikely to spontaneously improve. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable moving forward with that, to get more information so we can plan more effectively and efficiently. Chris, any thoughts?
I agree.
Sound good? Okay. Right, any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, I'll take a motion to approve the proposal for Design Art Group to perform an assessment of the plumbing system for the junior senior high school. Do I have a motion? A motion by Chris. You beat you that time. Second?
Second.
Second by Cody. All in favor, say aye.
What happens if I don't second? You second?
I guess. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. School board will hold a discussion about the proposal from D.A. Davidson for the stadium project.
So Jerry is the gentleman that came and presented a couple months ago and shared with us where we're at with the availability for capital outlay certificate dollars, and this would be the individual that would be responsible for the underwriting. We've already approved using capital outlay dollars for this project. We just need to approve the agreement to have D.A. Davidson be the underwriters for that process.
Sounds good. Questions? Comments?
Nope.
Discussion? All right. If there's no further discussion, we'll require a motion to approve the letter of engagement with D.A. Davidson as the underwriter or placement agent for the stadium project. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the school board will hold a discussion about the addition of a weightlifting club.
Hi.
Hi.
So last year, I was approached by several students just inquiring about maybe a powerlifting club. And so I said, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. We could probably do that. And then after I got to this year, I was like going, well, we might want to try to get this sanctioned somehow. See if we need to be sanctioned by the school, of course. See if we need to be sanctioned by the state, so on and so forth. See on how that actually gets set up. I've never set up a program before, so this is actually something new for me. I sent out a mass email to several weightlifting coaches in the area. I got a lot of good feedback. One of the coaches, Houston, up in Baltic, he has about 45 kids that he has under him. And so he said, you know, almost all of the schools, Class A, Class AA, and Class AAA, they are usually just set up as a club. They're not, because it's not a state sanctioned sport, under SD, whatever the acronym is. And so, but it's still, I mean, they still have a high school meet. They still have high school meets. They have a state meet. So it's all just set up as a club. And not all schools have them. Only a handful of them do. So, but actually in the area, we do have quite a few. Centerville has a powerlifting club. Lenox has a powerlifting club. Salem used to have a pretty good sized powerlifting club, and they actually had meets. This year they are no longer having meets because I don't know for sure if their club kind of just went by the wayside. They approached, I don't know the whole details on that. But Baltic, Canton is starting a program this year. I've talked to him a couple times. I got some really good feedback. I don't know what more information you need from me, so I'm.
What's the interest level look like from students just putting the vibe out there? Interest?
Yeah, I mean, I've had about I had 10 kids sign up towards the end of last year, just to kind of see what the interest would be. This year, I've had probably maybe about another half a dozen
Oh, good.
kids, inquire about it, other than those.
Initial 10.
Yeah.
Sure. That's great.
So the interest is definitely there.
Is there, I would assume there'd be no like additional liability risk or anything like that since we already have a weight room and
As long as it's approved as a
as a club.
school activity.
Right.
Be okay, and it's operating within our walls. And right now, we're looking at, this would be a voluntary position.
Yep.
Paid
Okay.
position. Could potentially turn into a paid position should the interest be there in the future, but
Right.
risk financially to the district initially.
I think it's great.
I ran into a young man on Saturday that he said he was bored and was gonna go lift weights. I don't understand personally, but
So Angeli asked a good question. How do they get to like meets and stuff like that? Everyone that I've talked to, even the schools that have really good programs, a lot of that's usually done like any club sport. Usually parents, or they ride as friends, and so on and so forth. It was good that I talked to Houston because he's at a smaller school, and he kind of said, be careful of talking too much to like the Sioux Falls schools.
Oh, sure.
Because they're in a totally different program, even though they go to a lot of the same meets and everything. He goes, their level of commitment is a little bit different. They have hundreds of kids out, and I mean, it's just a different level from that standpoint. But and they only have basically 3 meets. Usually one in December. There are a couple more meets across the state, but they only suggest maybe 1 meet a month just because of it's the amount of work that gets done to the muscles and everything else. They need to go back, maybe work on form, work on various things they need to work on before the next meet. So it's not something that they do every weekend. It's just something that they do maybe 2, maybe 3 times through the course of the season.
Okay. How long is the season?
Usually the actual meet season, there's usually what's considered an early meet in December. There's usually, I think, 2 or 3 meets through the course of the area in December. But January and February are the big meets, and then March, they have the state meet, so.
Wonderful. I think that sounds great. I like adding additional options for kids.
I'm looking at, what would do you know anything about insurance coverage? Participate in this at another facility. If a student since they're a part of the Freeman Club.
Right.
They're actually sponsoring it. Do they have insurance waivers or insurance balloon policy or something in place for those events?
That I would have to check. That's a good question. I'm sure that they do, from the standpoint that, because there's definitely risk that would be involved.
Right.
But, like I said, I don't know for sure. I'd have to double check. I know that I talked to the guy over in Canton. The guy in Canton, I wish I could remember his name. He's the one that started the powerlifting club in Lenox, and now he's over in Canton. He's starting one there. And he said that they're going to have an early meet in December. And he goes, I want to try to get some of these new programs to come over since we're a new program, and so we can kind of have that, in a sense, an early meet for the kids. So maybe like a dual or a triangular of some sort. but I can definitely ask them on how that actually works.
I'm sure they'd almost have to.
There have to be some.
Yeah, there would have to be, I agree,
I
Chris.
just- Yeah.
Be confirmed.
We can check with Seth too.
Any other discussion or questions?
Nope, I'm in favor.
If not, we'll require a motion to approve the addition of a weightlifting club for students in grades 7 through 12. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody, do I have a second? Second by Chris, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda will require a motion to remove Angeli Letcher and add Jennifer Morat as the Director of All Accounts at Merchant State Bank and South Dakota Fit. Do I have a motion? Motion by Chris, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cody, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, executive session will require a motion to enter executive session for the purpose of South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2(1). Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody, do I have a second? Second by Chris, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries in executive session 7:26 PM. Thank you.
See you, Jenny.
Thanks for coming.